Imagine sacrificing an entire rook. Not because you're losing, but because you already know your attack is unstoppable. That is exactly what happened when Magnus Carlsen faced young Iranian Grandmaster Sina Movahed during the 2025 Titled Tuesday Grand Prix. Magnus later described this as one of the most enjoyable games he has ever played. Considering he has played hundreds of thousands of games throughout his career, that's an incredible statement. Let's find out why. The game begins with the king's Indian defense, one of the sharpest openings in chess. White grabs space in the center, while black prepares a powerful kingside attack. Instead of reacting immediately, Magnus quietly develops his pieces and waits for the perfect moment. After pushing his pawn to b4, Magnus signals that he's ready to launch his own attack on the queenside. Meanwhile, black builds pressure on the kingside with moves like nh5 and f5. Everything appears to favor black, but Magnus has something completely different in mind. Instead of defending where the attack is coming, he pushes another queenside pawn with a4. Then comes a move almost nobody would predict. Rook to a3 at first glance. It looks strange. The rook isn't attacking anything, but Magnus is already thinking several moves ahead. The rook isn't staying on the queenside. It's preparing for an incredible journey across the entire board. Black continues the attack with g5, opening lines toward the white king. Magnus calmly responds with g3, inviting even more complications. Soon sacrifices begin. Magnus gives up a knight. Black captures. Magnus immediately strikes back, opening important lines toward the enemy king. Now something amazing happens. The rook that looked misplaced on a3 suddenly slides all the way to h3. Only now does everyone understand the idea. That rook had one mission from the very beginning. Join the kingside attack. Every white piece starts pointing toward black's king. The bishop becomes incredibly powerful. The queen enters the attack. Even though black has material, the king is becoming harder and harder to defend. Then comes the move that shocked everyone. Magnus sacrifices the rook. Yes, he simply gives it away. Most players would never even consider sacrificing an entire rook without a forced checkmate. Magnus does it because he understands that active pieces are worth far more than material. Instead of recapturing immediately, he keeps increasing the pressure. Every move creates a new threat. Black's pieces become completely tied down. For a brief moment, the game becomes incredibly complicated. Both players have only seconds left on the clock. One inaccurate move could completely change the result. Sina Movahed fights back brilliantly, searching for perpetual checks against the white king. For several moves, Magnus has to carefully walk his king through a dangerous maze of checks. One wrong square, and the game could have ended in a draw or even worse. But Magnus finds the only safe path. Eventually, black runs out of checks. Now it's white's turn. The queen and bishop combine perfectly, creating unstoppable mating threats. Black no longer has enough defenders. Every escape square disappears. With no way to stop the attack, Sina Movahed resigns. What makes this game so special isn't just the sacrifices. It's the planning. The move a3 looked mysterious when it was played. Several moves later, that same rook arrived on h3 exactly where Magnus needed it. Even after sacrificing the rook, the attack only became stronger. Very few players in history can calculate that deeply while playing a 5-minute Blitz game. That's why Magnus later called this one of the most enjoyable games of his career. Not because it was easy, because every move fit together like pieces of a puzzle. This wasn't simply a win. It was a masterpiece of planning, imagination, and fearless attacking chess. If you enjoyed this incredible game, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Would you have dared to sacrifice your rook like Magnus did?